currently in the lobby of the infamous Bourbon Hotel, and I came across this really interesting picture that actually goes through all of the different hauntings that happened in this building. This whole city was founded basically on a bed of oyster shells, and there was everything from like a nun's village back in the day or orphanage. They also tended to like the sick and like the war, Confederate soldiers, and you know, they say that they actually hear a bunch of children kind of running around these hallways, and it is not uncommon for anyone who stays at the hotel to experience some kind of hauntings. I forgot to mention as well, as I'm just like reading it right now, but they have a haunted ballroom here where they would host all of the elite back in the day. Apparently they have apparitions and ghostly figures that appear in that ballroom. And I can't say that I've felt anything, and I definitely don't believe that our room in particular is haunted, but yeah, kind of excited to see maybe there might be some other things that happen later tonight. It is 8:30 in the morning, so it doesn't actually open till 9, but we hear that they serve blood bags. Oh, we can actually buy wine. But it's really early in the morning, so there's like literally nobody out here at the moment. For a blood bag?
Love. I can't say that.
And then this is the cup. Oh, sorry, you poured milk in there. Coffee is not as good here as it is in Australia. Taking the first sip of the Vampire blood bag. You actually have to try this. It's like pomegranate flavour. Started eating by accident, but Al actually got steak, vampire steak and eggs. How is it, Al? But today we're going on, I should say, a plantation tour of two really famous and very historic plantations, the Whitney Plantation and I believe the Laura Plantation, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to stop off at the Oak Plantation because that one is, you know, in heaps of movement. And we also have our first seance tonight, so that is going to be an experience. I bought Florida water just so we can cleanse ourselves before we can go in, and for after as well. It is in a historic museum or building, so we'll see how that goes. So we are now at the Whitney Plantation. It is a self-guided tour, so we've got these little telephone things. Did just come off the plantation tour at the Laura Plantation, and to be honest, I felt like the tour guide might have just been having a little bit of a bad day, but other than that, it was quite good. Actually quite pretty when you look at it. This, unfortunately, was all built on slave labor. So just behind me here, a jail, but it's a bit more about where they kept the slaves when they were doing sort of the slave trade. They would just hold them in these little cells and start like yelling out about the different skills and stuff that these slaves possess. Typically the women and children sold for less, and even those slaves that tried to run away, they were less desirable. Going to Vertimart, which is one of the top-rated po' boy delis. I think it's at the back there. Oh, they have them up there. So this is in like an authentic, I don't know how long this place has been here for, but this is where essentially we're going to get the best po' boy of our life. Bunch of food. Some of it doesn't really look all that appetizing, to be honest, but I have faith that this is going to be the best stand sandwich we've ever had. I guess while we wait, we will go through American snack. First of all, I've never heard of a moon pie.
Seance. This one actually looks kind of appetizing. Strawberry cupcake. This shop is kind of like disorientating because it has these really big like aisle things in the middle.
Unveiling the sandwich. It tastes like a hamburger. Really messy. We're on our way to our first seance. Never done a seance before. I think we're about a 4-minute walk there now until we get there, and I will show you the front of the building once we do.
Start going there, you may.
So right now we are just back on Bourbon Street, but we are going to this very secret vampire bar that we got invited to earlier this morning. It is invite only. We need this little ticket thing. So we've just arrived at the Ragin' Cajun Swamp Tours, and we're going to be going on the Rougarou boat. I assume this is some sort of like medium airboat. There's a lot of people waiting out here at the moment. Hopefully we get to see a lot of gators, as that's obviously what we're here for. Really walking to the airboats now. You can see them on my left hand side. Ours must be the second one up the top, up the back here.
He's a pretty cool dude. He's got a broken arm. That's why he's clever.
Dang. Oh my gosh.
Just a little dinosaur.
Yeah. I don't like it.
So gentle. Yeah. I know you're powerful. I know you can jump. Whoa. Alligators are powerful enough to project 2/3 of their body out of the water. That is pretty weak.
This is us post-gator airboat swamp tour, and her is looking a little worse for wear. We did see a lot of gators. They all have little names. The big boy, he was called Clover, and he was about 13 feet. And then we saw a bunch of little ones. They love marshmallows, which is really cute. So we're feeding them marshmallows and chicken. Definitely worth it. Just gonna wait for our tour bus and get back to the hotel.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Wow, it's our last day in New Orleans and really sad to go, but we've still got so many adventures to go. Today we are just having breakfast at the Fleur de Lis. The service was shit. Would recommend.
Thank you.
And today we are going on a graveyard tour, bookend by a ghost tour where we use equipment. And then Frenchman Street, just a bit more exploring before we head off to L'Envergure.
It's a what?
L'Envergure. I was trying to be Elvis.
It's actually quite sad because we have had such a wonderful time. So now we're just waiting for breakfast, but we have a really fun day planned. So we've got a cemetery tour this morning at the very famous, I think it's the Louis Cemetery. Another ghost experience tonight, but it will be with equipment. So the DSLR or SLR cameras. So basically picking up, you know, inanimate objects and people that aren't there. It says camera, hear me? We just got our food, and this is like probably one of the most appetizing brekkies that we've had. Service ain't great. Yeah, not getting a tip, unfortunately.
Water, Coke, Sprite, iced tea, Gatorade, Powerade.
Nicholas's Cage's tomb. It's written in Latin, all for one, on the tomb there. Very old tombs in here. The ones that are like well kept after are called what was it called?
Perpetual care.
Perpetual care. And they have perpetual care, and they all have those little markers on the ground. If I find one, I'll show you. Perpetual care. Let's see how much wider that one is. This one's been closed forever. It means that it is completely full. Laveau's tomb, the voodoo priestess. We just got back from the St. Louis Cemetery #1. We learnt about what was called I can't even say it properly. The Catholic Church will look after your tomb, and they will keep it white and they will clean it, because if you don't have that, your friends and family are meant to be the ones that come and clean your grave. There was a tomb that had over 2,000 people. If you didn't have a lot of money back in the day, you could actually be a part of these society tombs. So the other thing that we saw when we were there was Nicholas's Cage's tomb. I think he just had a love for New Orleans. And she didn't actually mention this on the tour, but I have heard this, that there was a voodoo priestess that told him to create the tomb as a pyramid. But yeah, that was really interesting to see. And then finally, of course, the third most visited tomb, one after Elvis and the other was JFK, was of course Marie Laveau's tomb. Something that I forgot to mention just before was that the reason why everyone is in these mausoleum type tombs and they're sitting all above ground is because drilled down maybe like 2 meters, if that, and you'd hit water from the Louisiana river. They basically can't bury anyone underground because they were doing that initially, and then a whole bunch of coffins were floating up to the top. Going through the city, mosquitoes were biting it and essentially spreading yellow fever throughout the city. So yeah, there was a lot of people that died from yellow fever back in the day. I guess to counteract that, this is why they built the mausoleums. Walking down Magazine Street, and there are so many mansions. As for us, we're like absolutely melting. It's like 30 degrees minimum, and it's only gonna get hotter when we get to, oh, look at this Halloween house, and look at this pumpkin house. Look at all the pumpkins. The Ghost Manor. Oh my god. Look at all the spiders. And this is Flintstones. Oh, Flynn Bones house. And the dinosaur. And here we are at the Buckner Mansion where they filmed the infamous American Horror Story. This was, I believe, season 3 where they aired The Coven, and yeah, this mansion is really something else. We've got the crow going on in the background. Ooh, this is Frenchman Street at the moment. Where we are right now, we are currently on Frenchman Street, and I've been told that this is kind of like the upper scale Bourbon Street, but this is our final night in New Orleans, and we have a very exciting ghost hunt. Oh, there's someone else there. So before we do that, we are currently in Dat Dogs out there. They have a bunch of like build your own dogs. I ordered jalapenos, grilled onions, cheddar cheese, bacon, grilled bell pepper, which is capsicum. So we will show you those once they come out. We are unveiling the dogs. Dog number 1. Oh wow, that must be my one. Dog number 2. Ooh. It's spicy but good. So just on the ghost tour now with Kathy, and then we have about 4 others on the tour with us as well. Kathy's actually part of the...
She's not part of it, she helps.
Oh, she helps basically like priests in the Catholic Church on performing things like exorcisms and paranormal investigations to rid of evil spirits, and it's called a very specific society, but I've just forgotten what that was. But we're now on our way to our first location, which is the Jackson Hotel, supposedly the second most haunted place in the whole of the French Quarter. So we're going to get a bunch of equipment out and it will be really fun. Going in. We're heading out to the courtyard now.
Other thing that we use are, what is this?
REM pod.
Yes, a REM pod, good. So REM pods are ways that we can also detect energy. So basically what this does is when I turn it on, set it here, what it's doing is it's emitting its own EMF. So if something crosses the barrier of where it is, it's gonna go off. So, you can see that, the lights go off. The other thing we have is our SLS camera. SLS camera is the type of camera that we basically have a tablet that is attached to a camera that has Xbox technology in it. What the Kinect technology does is it maps bodies. Xbox was having a whole bunch of people call in and saying, this thing is mapping something next to me and there's nobody else in the room. And they were like, oh, it's probably a software glitch or something. And those of us in the paranormal community were like, maybe not.
A little bit of a brief rundown on what we're about to do. We've got the REM pod ready, Al's got the EMF recorder ready, and basically we're in the Andrew Jackson Hotel. There is supposedly a little kid called Walter running around, but also I think there was a couple of other kids that died in a house fire. Not only that, but the courtyard that we're in is haunted as well, because they used to have the gallows here back in the day. It was sort of a bit of a courthouse situation. So we're gonna set up and see what we can find. I think that's just calibrating now. Hang on, hold on. Oh, okay, so just to check if it's working, like that.
It's going crazy, it's got a bit orange.
So I just want to show you, I'm going to turn it on to airplane mode on, and then we're going to go into our favorite app, which is called Necrometer. So we have 2 devices that you can use right now. We've got the spirit box. Pretty much if you just go up to the spirit box and talk into it, we can pick up any voices around here. Or you can touch this REM pod, as you can see here. It will go off and we'll know that you're here. Is there anyone here that would like to talk to us? Ooh, we got a Patrick.
You one of the little boys that died in the fire?
Hey Patrick, if this is you, do you mind touching this REM pod right here, just so that we can get confirmation that you're with us right now?
They should be familiar with it. They should be familiar with it.
Yeah, well, I mean...
The key.
Key.
It's got to be key.
We've actually put the REM pod on the top of the stairs, as we heard that Walter actually likes to climb up and down these poles. So Walter, if you are here with us... Oh, the owner is here.
The owner?
So maybe Patrick has the keys, the vendor, he's the owner of the place.
Patrick, you the owner? You want to go and touch the REM pod if you are the owner, or used to be the owner?
Won't make it. Oh, okay. So maybe they won't be able to make that REM pod. We were going to move it out of the way for you. 1970s. Okay, so maybe this is the owner that used to own the place in the 1970s. Yeah, we'll try the closet. Did you guys get anything in there?
A little bit, yeah.
Really? Oh, cool.
And then you can sit right there in that chair.
Burn.
Burn.
The fire?
Well, yeah. I've had a lot of people get really emotional in here.
Really?
Yeah, just like all of a sudden they're just overcome with emotion.
It says camera, hear me? Ah, literally moving closer.
hear you.
I've got a seat right here for you if you'd like to sit down. Everyone's saying I'm here.
Is that you, Walter?
Hello.
Oh, there's something right in between you.
Really?
Hello.
Yep.
Hello. Who are we speaking with?
It's kind of like right next to you. It looks adult sized.
Oh, really?
Hello.
Who is that?
Oh,
Can you tell me your name?
that's the temperature gauge. Somebody's right there.
Yep.
It's gonna go off with the thing, isn't it?
No, maybe just leave
Oh,
it.
you're right there. Like you're touching him right now.
Oh yeah, there is
Oh, that
somebody
was
right
Master.
there.
Hi, Master. Nice to meet you.
Ooh.
Temperature.
It says I'm dead. Yeah, are you up on this one on the right here? Or, well, hopefully you're not up there. On their favorite roof.
Well, 208 is right up there.
Oh, they used to park here.
Is somebody sitting on the chair?
Somebody sitting there?
Yeah, someone's sitting on the chair. Oh, there's someone else there. Who's that?
That's her.
Oh! Shelby's coming to say hello to you now.
Who's sitting here?
Oh my god, it's like a little ghosty. So we're now on our way back to the Providor. Provincial? I can't remember. Some hotel, which is our next stop for the next investigation. We were just at the Jackson Hotel and we did get a little bit of activity. We probably weren't there long enough for it to be very concrete, but either way it was pretty cool. And we then just had a stop off at, I think it's Harry's Corners bar, and they gave us this drink called the Ghostbuster. It's actually quite tasty. It tastes like pineapple juice, and I know it has like rum and vodka in it as well, so very nice. Wow, this is so cool. It almost looks like the sunset.
Would have been some very well-off people who probably owned enslaved slaves. We do have 2 children here who say that they were part of the enslaved family that lived here. One of them, her name is Caroline, and she likes to play hide and seek. There where the French market was, there was a lot of bars, a lot of brothels, and music, gambling, that kind of thing. So we do sometimes get some visitors that like to play music for us. We think that they're probably from that time period.
What do they play music on?
They're instruments. They're ghost instruments. Hopefully Joseph and William will come out for us tonight. Play a jazz tune, and they actually will. Looks like they're playing. Sometimes they'll play the sax. Sometimes they'll play the drums, the piano. Sometimes they're doing this with the bass. Yeah, it's really cool. You are just grooving tonight. Look at you.
It down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really is.
There's 2 people sitting there right now. Whoa.
What are you doing?
Got big legs.
I guess that's his solo now. Yeah. There we go.
That's it.
So I need like one.
That's getting wild.
No, there's one.
There.